Hello, Danny Heatherton here. Back in the 1980s, there was a motion picture called Gremlins. Here's kind of what happens in it. These little kids enter a pet shop, a very unique one at that, run by this elderly Chinese gentleman. They discover these furry little critters, and to make a long story short, it's like, yes, we'd like to buy these and adopt them as pets. And the Chinaman says, "Oh, you'd like to adopt these? Well, with these comes special instruction you must follow," or something like that, right? Something to this effect. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it, so I may not get this very accurate, bear in mind. Well, there's at least one good instruction he gives, but there's a couple instructions like you can't do this and you can't do that. I think there were 3 in all. I forget the other 2, but the third one was the most important. And the third instruction, he says, is whatever you do, no matter how hungry they get and how much they beg for it, never, ever feed them after midnight. And they're like, okay, we've got it. Yeah, let's take them home, and okay, so you can kind of guess what happens in it. Eventually, to make a long story short, they're staying up later and later at night. Oh, I love our new pets we just adopted here. And you can guess what happened. They start begging for something to eat. They look at their watch. Hey, it's after midnight now. Remember, we can't feed them. Oh, what can it hurt? Or something like that happens. Well, they give them something to eat after midnight. And guess what happens? Pretty soon, they start growing into these ginormous monsters and stuff. It's like, oh no, what happened? And to make a long story short, in the end of the movie, the little children go back to the shopkeeper and say, those pets we adopted, we had a little bit of a problem. They grew into these huge creatures. And the whole movie is going toward this entire one line, which is like the central focal point sentence stated in words stated in the whole thing. That's what it all sort of comes down to. He says, "I gave you explicit instruction to never feed them after midnight, but you didn't listen." There's a book well known as the Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. They tell us how to live and how not to live, what to do, what not to do. And what I'm asking is, since we're all going somewhere, I'm asking anybody that's listening to my voice and looking at me right now to think about where you're going to go. We're all going somewhere. And I don't want any single one of you to go to the wrong place thinking, I knew what the basic instructions before leaving Earth stated. I was told about it. I was told I could be in a good place or a bad place. But I didn't listen. Don't be like those foolish players in that movie. Instead, think about it. I'm talking about the King of Glory, the one and only Son of God, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I say accept him into your life. If you don't now, you'll wish you had. It's a wonderful deal. In summary, oh, taste and see that the King of Glory is good. It's one of these things you don't want to put off. Don't be like the foolish players in those movies, where you can think later on to yourself, you know what? I didn't listen. Something to think about, a little food for thought. See you the next time.